Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm calling in from University of Donja Gorica, and I'll be giving you an example of collaboration between industry and academia with respect to digital solutions for smart agriculture. And this is one example that we have here in Montenegro. It includes people from three institutions, as you can see here: University of Donja Gorica, company 13. Jul Plantage, which is one of the largest winemakers in southeastern Europe, and then technology company from Serbia called Dunavnet. And you will see later on why I included and why all of these people are participating in creation of this presentation material. So I actually, was carefully listening to all of these presentations, and I think we have seen excellent examples of very technical and concrete, collaborations that took place and that my colleagues, presented. I had a little bit different understanding what we need to talk about today. So my focus was more on the actual establishment of collaboration rather than going into technical details. But I guess it will be okay. So the organization of this presentation is that we'll talk a little bit about, do a little introduction of all the participants and this collaboration theme, if you will. Then we'll talk about these digital solutions in for smart agricultures. And then one thing that I wanted to kind of, talk about was also partnership development and collaboration projects. So the motivation, for any collaboration, but especially if we are talking about this collaboration between academia and industry in this domain of sustainable or digital precision agriculture, I think it all comes from these sustainable development goals. And we don't need to analyze all 17 of them, but what we are trying to do here is covering probably more than half of these goals that we are looking here. And it is kind of our responsibility, and it should be our motivation to kind of get as many participants from different backgrounds to jointly collaborate and achieve some of these goals. Narrowing down to Montenegro, we recently adopted one strategy that's called Smart Specialization strategy for Montenegro for the period 2019 to 2024. We as a university and also company Plantage or some representatives participated in this development of this strategy. And it is here in Montenegrin or Bosnian, Serbian, Croatian language here, but we have one horizontal priority, which is information communication technology or digital technology, and then we have three vertical priorities in this strategy or strategic goals for Montenegro. One is sustainable agriculture and food supply chain. Then we have energy or an environment, and then the last one would be a sustainable tourism and also health industry. So with these vertical goals and one horizontal, meaning digital technology, you can kind of recognize that also this agriculture and digital solutions in agriculture are fitting into our strategic goals for Montenegro, and therefore are supporting the motivation for all of us to jointly work in this field. Let me give you just a brief background about the institution, the academic representative of this collaboration. I'm, associated with University of Donja Gorica. It is a relatively young university. It is a private institution, private non-for-profit institution, with the ambition to be an innovative university with very strong research and entrepreneurial orientation, with intensive international, level of activities, and with as much as possible individual approach to each student. we have kind of we've been founded in 2007. We are located very close to Podgorica, capital of Montenegro. Currently, we have around 2,500 to 3,000 students, over 300 professors and teaching staff. And the university offers various undergraduate and postgraduate, level of studies. The kind of specifics or philosophical model for the UDG or University of Donja Gorica is to think about the future. And the professor's equation is you can see very similar to equations from physics, but the idea is that the benefit from the education would come from the knowledge that you gain at the university, but also it will be multiplied by the square of the experience that you gain during your studies. So this equation or philosophical approach is kind of pushing us in academia to include both people that are employed at the university and our students to get as much as experience of what they are, and applying the knowledge that they are gaining at the university to get the whole picture. The research domains in focus relevant to this presentation are digital transformation, digital innovation, applied computer science, then entrepreneurship and sustainable development. As far as our partner, from industry company Plantage, it is they operate the largest vineyard in the Europe in one complex. As you can see the details here, over 2,300 hectares. They have around 11 million vines. They produced 22,000 tons of table and vine grapes, etc. I mean, I will finish up with they also deal with they produce the peaches, so they have orchards, they produce olives. They have a fish farm which produces over 100 tons of rainbow trout, and they produce the bottom lines around 17 million bottle products annually. Also, they operate 3 wine cellars. They export to over 43 countries. They have won several national and international awards. They operate a couple of restaurants, retail facilities, horseback riding club, over 700 employees. And maybe most important, stuff here is also they have a development sector which is registered as a research institution that participated in over 20 national and international projects. So they were like naturally our partner, for this sector of digital solutions in agriculture. Another, the third, component in this partnership that I'm giving as an example here is a technological provider company, which is an SME company from Novi Sad in Serbia. And in Novi Sad in Serbia, there are several IT companies, spin-off companies from a technical university over there. I think there is over 200 or 300, companies. So I was born and raised in Novi Sad, so sometimes I like to say it's a Silicon Valley of the Balkans. Maybe people from different cities would not agree, but the interesting thing with these companies is that they provide Internet of Things solutions for various domains, some of which are the smart agriculture, and they also participate in several, projects, both commercial and on a research, projects such as Horizon, FP7, FP6, etc. So we kind of formed a partnership that started small. I mean, started with some projects that were part of joining, working together on smaller open calls. Then we also had some projects that we kind of funded or done on our own, if you will, and then started developing this or expanding this collaboration on different other projects. So let me do a little, just look back at the digital solutions for smart agriculture. Basically, we are witnessing this exponential explosion of digital technology, and there are several IT megatrends out there: cloud computing, big data and analytics, including artificial intelligence, then Internet of Things that I mentioned, mobile technology, social media, blockchain, etc. All of these technologies, when combined together, can help us out performing the process of digital transformation, which is essentially finding new innovative ways to improve the business processes or the ways how we are doing business in any domain. Looking at the agriculture, I mean, basically we can perform digital transformation and utilize all of these technologies is any of the areas of agriculture. Some examples, and I think we have even seen some of these today in the presentations, can include like examples listed here. For example, in a field we can monitor weather conditions and get additional information about microclimate for that particular location, combined with the weather forecast data that we can obtain, through other sources. Then we can monitor various type of parameters in the fields, vineyards, orchards, livestock farms, etc., using, for example, sensors and Internet of Things technology, communications, and other stuff. We can monitor the use of machinery in the field, and we can perform fleet management. We can also use all of these IT tools to assess the health and growth, whether we are talking about plants or animals. So we can implement various prediction models to detect diseases or to detect conditions that will, let disease to develop. We can monitor growth. We can detect optimal harvesting time. We have several solutions, for pest control, spraying optimization, pest detection, irrigation optimization, etc. Some examples of devices that can be used, there are various. I mean, this is just small subset, but we are here showing some that we used with Plantage and on the previous projects is pheromone traps that are equipped with the Internet of Things nodes with cameras that would take pictures of these plates with the glue plates, and you put a pheromone in there to attract certain type of insects so that you can monitor how many of these insects are showing up in the field. These are all solar powered, and they have either LoRa communication or 3G mobile communication that allows us to collect data so in a way in a real time. We have weather stations, we have irrigation nodes, and various others. The platform, there are different Internet of Things platforms, or not only Internet of Things platform, but farm management platforms that can be used. Again, I'm mentioning here Agronet that's coming from DunamNet, which allow you to integrate all this data that's coming from the field, but also allows you to integrate data that's coming from other sources. And it also provides and implements certain solutions that will implement decision support systems across the platform based on this data. So I don't know if we can see here, for example, the images, the camera snapshots from the pheromone trap, and just having these images pulled back to the platform would be very good for people who are doing who are interested in the pest situation in the field. But this solution, for example, can utilize image processing tools to detect a certain type of bugs and to count certain type of bugs. So it's converting this image into some sort of data information that's relevant, so that you can also have this number of insects of certain type being counted for you. So it can be used for development of decision support tools. There are also tools to manage the fleet, the machinery fleet, to keep track where they are, how have them be used. Then we are working now with one project in optimizing the spraying and monitoring the spraying function with the vendor from Spain that's allowing us to collect data on the utilization of their sprayers, etc. And now I think getting to the topic that's to me, talking about this collaboration and partnership development, the core team in this example in Montenegro was consisting of people from University of Donja Gorica, people from company Trinesti Jul Plantage, which I say it's also the end user, but they also have a research a group over there, and then company Dunavnet that has both research and commercial aspect of their technology solutions. So we started collaboration through these joint project activities. So, for example, we jointly, Plantage and UDG, applied for a target find project, which was using QR codes and Internet of Things to do the wine track and tracing or product track and tracing function on wine bottles, with main goal of potentially creating a platform for counterfeit detection and counterfeit prevention in the wine industry. Then about the same time, we started this smart irrigation project that was initiated by Dunavnet and UDG, but in talks with Plantage, and actually Plantage sponsored some of that effort initially. So by buying several of these devices and installing them in their fields. Then we had a joint application for a project that's financed by the Ministry of Science of Montenegro. So it's a national project with international participation, which is called DIPOL, Digital Transformation of Agriculture and Food Supply Chain in Montenegro. Again, we basically use these two ongoing activities or finished activities as a stepping stone for continuing this research with this DIPOL project. Now, this collaboration on all of these three projects resulted in, we'll in a couple of days have a couple more master theses being defended, but we have around 4 master theses being 5 being worked on, and 4 will being defended and finished in a couple of days. Just on these projects that you see, we have a couple of PhD students that kind of one is graduated or obtained his master degree in this DIPOL project, and he's continuing as a PhD student. And also we had one on target find that's now PhD candidate as well. Now, all of this is not just limited to 3 of these partners, but we were kind of the core of moving these things around. What I wanted to kind of point out here, and that will be part of my conclusion, is that this collaboration has to go not just as academia being provider to end user, company like Plantage, which is a winemaker, but also has to involve the companies that are technology providers. So academia has certain interest. I believe the first presenter was talking about that. We might be interested in publishing papers or getting funding for new projects, but mainly at research activities. After we get to that level of the proof of concept, somebody needs to take that and create a commercial technology offering based on what we are doing, if we are technology researchers. And also we have these end users that are also stakeholders that are very interested in utilizing these products of this development. Sometimes I've been working in industry, in academia, in various settings. Sometimes you have these challenges where the academia, it's going to sound tough, but where academia disappoints the industry, the end users, because they always go to the proof of concept level. So the academia is not ready to push this unless you have a spin-off company or a technology company that takes over and do a commercialization part, which is sometimes not sometimes, it's often very different animal from just proving that some idea or technology can be used or works for certain application. Thanks to this collaboration, we actually joined a consortium which has 60 partners and applied for a project for Horizon program that's called Demeter. And this is one of the largest projects in Europe on the utilization of digital solutions in agri-food sector. Uh, uh, so this is an ongoing project where we work on, and it's actually from our point of view, I'm again talking about Montenegrin partners, we are looking into these two segments, one using Internet of Things solutions for farm management platforms, regardless if it's wine industry, or we are expanded to also poultry industry, but also we are continuing the work that was started with this target wine system in this tracking and tracing and supply chain monitoring functionality, which may include the blockchain technology as well. That will be experimented with in the Demeter project as well, that is implementing several pilots in this domain. Then this project that we have this presentation today, it is a Erasmus Plus project that is talking about improving the IT relevance or ICT relevance in agricultural learning. So combining and giving more IT knowledge to the people that are, teaching or learning about agriculture. And then we also have a project that was result of some of these combined activities and some other projects, which is called Food Hub Center of Excellence for Digitalization of Food Safety and Risk Assessment. It is also sponsored by the Ministry of Science of Montenegro, and it's a very serious project, over 1 million euros budget. So back to the target wine project, it was the idea was to use active QR codes, some smart tags on each wine bottle, and so it's not just a regular QR code, but it was a QR code that had some invisible ink on it, and then when you use a mobile app on that smart tag, it will activate the flash on the phone, and that will activate that invisible ink to show up, and the camera would detect that that particular smart tag is actually the original tag, if you will. Now, in addition to that functionality, we had several functions that were taking place on the server side or on the cloud side of the system, where we would be following the data about each bottle individually, so and collecting the information from the user that are scanning, in a sense that even if you validate that this is the original bottle with the original tag, it still may be a refilled bottle, so it still may be some sort of a counterfeit in place. So we would keep that information. If we have the information that the bottle was used or opened or sold, we could match that information, with the historical data about each individual bottle, and have additional intelligence behind it to detect if it's authentic or not. Of course, it was relying on the engagement of end users and scanning and getting this information throughout the supply chain. The irrigation optimization, we had several irrigation nodes installed in Plantage. We are collecting the information on soil wetness or moisture on 2 depths on each location. We are also using weather stations. All of this data is collected by these Internet of Things nodes, and then communicated using LoRa communication to LoRa gateway, or using a mobile communication to communicate it to central platform. We use this AgroNet platform from DunamNet in cloud, which provides functionalities for data integration, visualization, but also these advanced functions for decision support. Also, I'm just noticing on the picture I'm showing you, this is not actually the picture from Plantage, but picture from the apple orchard in Montenegro. And this is one thing I wanted to mention, is that we didn't limit this to the only Plantage and UDG and only 3 of us working. We actually are trying to include as many as possible different varieties of applications. So we have orchards, we have poultry, so animal farms, but also small wine producers. So we had several other installations that took place, trying to expand the end user, involvement and in this collaboration. This dipole project again was, dealing with both of these situations. So these are the examples. I think the upper left picture is actually from Plantage. The upper right picture is from one small wine producers, and bottom down there you see the again this apple orchard that we have. We have the installation on dipole project in Plantage on the peaches as well, and we actually plan to do it for olives as well. We'll have a little lab established, field lab established for through this viral project that will be actually at least idea was to be involved with the olive tree farm. The Demeter project has budget over 17 or almost 18 million euros, 60 partners, 2 institutions are from Montenegro. The idea is to implement around 20 pilots in various different, sectors from agriculture. It will involve a large number of hectares of land, large number of farmers, so almost 6,000 farmers, almost 30,000 sensors, over 80 sites, etc. So this is kind of the slide that covers all of that. 15 member states from Europe and 3 additional states. So the total number of countries involved are 18. So projects like this, we were maybe sort of lucky here because we got involved in a very large project, but this is actually a framework for development of these partnerships between academia, business, and end users. Viral projects again it has several goals. I like to point out the education of educators, but also engaging and educate farmers, and then also this collaboration, interdisciplinary collaboration between people in academia, but also people on this relation between academia and business. Finally, our involvement in this Food Hub Center of Excellence will be focusing on blockchain technology and food or product track and trace applications mainly. There are some other applications for tracking the whole supply chain in the food production, but this project will also be a platform for development of partnership in this domain. As for conclusions, it is important to think that we now live, I'll remind about these sustainability goals from the beginning. I mean, we live in the world where the research activities have to be multidisciplinary. So that's one level of, so I'm just talking about here about academia, but I mean, it's applicable when you expand it to all the possible, academia, business, and government, and all the possible players here. But we have to be talking about multidisciplinary research and multidisciplinary innovation. Then international components is also very important. I mean, we cannot now, continue living in bubbles. We have to cross the borders and cross the continents and, work together. This COVID pandemic, from one end, it's preventing us from traveling, but on the other end, we have so many Zoom calls now that and it's much easier to actually get people from all over the world involved in these Zoom calls or webinars. So there are some benefits to it, and there are some disadvantages, but we have to be looking into into this international collaboration. Research and innovation have to go one with another. And in this domain, but I think in any other domain, this collaboration between academia and business have to include various type of business, collaborators. So not only end users that will be, consumers of whatever we as academia are researching or trying to innovate, but also we have to talk about with technology providers or companies that can take over these proof of concept solutions and convert them into the commercial offerings and services. Also, if we have end users like a company Plantage and university like UDG, and we have a solution that's coming, that we think will be a new IP or new proof of concept that need to be pushed to collaboration. One option is also to become a technology provider, so to start your own business, to have a spin-off companies that might be funded between both business and academia, players, or to have people from academia involved in that. So this is one of the provisions. Uh, Maybe most important, thing for this particular presentation, an example of this collaboration, are these joint projects and grant applications, which I'm listing here. Everybody knows about these programs, but the purpose of this work or joint work on proposals and implementation of these projects is to use them as a platform or as a framework to really develop this collaboration, to really kind of push it forward. So I'm looking forward to getting to know better all of the partners from viral projects, all of the partners from various projects that I mentioned that we are working on. But I think this is where we really can push this to the next level and make it less formal. It has to be formal, but I mean really go to the practicality of it. And with this, I would like to kind of wrap it up, and then I'm open for any questions, and looking forward to discussion after these presentations.